So in the last problem, we had a word problem, but they gave us the equation. This time, they didn't give us anything. So let's see. We got 83 tickets, and you made $391. Students cost $4, adults cost $5. So I'll make students X, adults Y. Money plus money gives me money, and tickets plus tickets gives me tickets. Okay? So I'm going to solve by elimination. Of course, I can solve by graphing and substitution, but I'm good. So I'm going to multiply whatever this guy is, give it to this guy. Whatever this guy is, give it to this guy. One of them has to be negative. If you just want to multiply this by -4, do that. But I'm just trying to show the most basic way. Rewrite the equation as -4x minus 5y equals -391. I feel like when there's bigger numbers, I really need to be careful and write more slowly, because it's very easy for me to make silly mistakes. Oops, 83 times 4, 332. Okay, the x gets eliminated. I'm left with -1y equals 391. 391 minus 332. -59 divided by -1. Y equals 59. So what I just figured out was how much it costs for adults. What did the question ask? Oh, they want to know how many adults and how many students. Okay, so I got the adults, so I'm going to say 59 adults, adult tickets. I just have to figure out how many student tickets. Okay, so, hi, morning. Okay, so I figured out how many adult tickets. Now I need student tickets. So I'm going to take the 59, plug it back into my original. I'm going to pick that one. It looks easier. X plus 59 equals 83. Subtract 59, which is, I think, 14. So now I know there are 14 student tickets and 59 adult tickets. Okay, this one is actually pretty similar to the one we did on this page. Remember how when I said x minus 1 just means you're going to take whatever that one is and then add 2 to it? So what they're saying is it's the same thing but backwards. They're saying the first term is 13. And they're saying each time, can you do me a favor and subtract 7? Subtract 7. That's the pattern. So I'm going to do that. 6, -1, -8. This, I'm going to do the f of 1 is 13 again, but this time what they're asking me to do is take the 13, multiply it by 2, and add 3. So they're asking me to do a lot of patterns. So 2 times 13 is 26, plus 3 is 29. Now they're saying, hey, this one's a lot more complex. Take the 29, multiply it by 2, and add 3. So 2 times 29 is 58, plus 3 is 62. They're saying now this time, take the 62, multiply that by 2, and add 3. So 2 times 62 is 124, plus 3 is 127. I could have multiplied wrong, but you get the idea that this time the pattern is something different. Okay, so let's turn the page. All right, so it looks like you need to find slope. So -4, 1, -8, 9. Remember, slope is pattern plus 8 minus 4. Some of you want to do y2 minus y1. I don't care. Whatever you want. Get -2. Simplify it completely. All right, they want the equation. For an equation, that's y equals mx plus b. I got the m right there. And I can pick either point. I'm going to pick the lower value point, and I'm going to plug it in for x and y. And I'm going to label it so I don't mix them up. Negative times a negative is a positive. Subtract 8. B equals -7. So I got my pink. I got my blue. Excuse me, I'm going to get my equation, and this is my answer. Don't forget to give me the equation. All right, the midpoint. There was a formula that you learned a long time ago, the midpoint formula. Some of you remember it, some of you don't. I want you to just be logical. What does midpoint mean? It means you're going to find the point that's literally in the middle. So what's halfway between -4 and -8? -6. That's the x value. What is halfway between 1 and 9? I don't think that is as obvious. So what I like to do is literally do the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then just kind of count until you get the middle. Boom. Halfway between 1 and 9 is 5. Done. If you remember the formula, great, use the formula. If you don't remember the formula, use my logic. All right, distance. There's also a formula for distance. I don't want to do a formula. That sounds horrible. I had a formula here. I didn't want to use it. I had a different formula here. I don't want to use it. And then I have a different formula here. I don't want to use it. Okay? So I'm going to use logic. So there's -4, 1. I plotted that point very badly. Here's the point, -8, 9. I plotted it very badly. I can't tell the distance, but what I can do is see the distance from here to here, which is 4. And then I can see the distance from here to here, which is 8. And then it reminds me, of a formula, the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to take 4 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 16 plus 64 is 80, and then remember square root. Okay? So it looks like the distance is square root of 80. Now, if it was the square root of 64, you can't tell me that. You have to tell me 8. Okay? If you get square root of 63, you can't say that. So square root of 63 is good. All right. Find a line parallel. Parallel means it's going to have the same slope. So I take the slope, and I take the point, excuse me, and I do y equals mx plus b. There's my y. There's my m. There's my x. Find b. 4 equals 20 plus b minus 20. b equals -16. I got my m. I got my b. Boom, my equation. Y equals -2x minus 16. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult because this time I have perpendicular. So it's not the same. I have to do the opposite, and then I have to flip it. So this will be my perpendicular slope. If you're struggling on that, go back to perpendicular, okay? Because I feel like I even have a video on it. Oh yeah, I remember. It was when I did, let's see if I can find it. I know I did it somewhere. Wasting time in the video to find it, but I guess that'll be good if you find it. Perpendicular, oh yeah. And we did these problems, perpendicular, perpendicular, perpendicular. Oh, and perpendicular. Okay, so check that out. All right, so now I take that, and I take the point, and I do the exact same thing I did for parallel. Y equals mx plus b. This goes in for y. This goes in for m. This goes in for x. Half of 10 is 5, 1 negative. Add 5, b equals 9. I got m. I got b. Y equals 1/2 x plus 9. Okay? All right, let's go over this one. I know some of you are like, that looks familiar. Yes, I cut and pasted from the homework. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. We'll say that's 3, okay? X-intercepts. X-intercepts is where it crosses the x-axis. I need to write them as points. 3, 0, -1, 0, and -4, 0. That's the zeros, but not as points. X equals -1, x equals 3, x equals -4. Done. The y-intercept is where it crosses on the y-axis. 0, 3. Let's assume these are going forever. Domain. Domain is everything to the right. Hey, it's going to the right. Everything to the left. Hey, it's going to the left. All real numbers. -infinity, +infinity. The range. The range is everything up and everything down. Well, it is everything up. Let's fake it here. I don't know. Should we just say 1? It's everything up, but not everything down. So it looks like it starts here and goes up. Y is greater than or equal to -1. So that means that is -1, +infinity. Okay? The relative maximum and the relative minimum. So the relative maximum, it looks like this is the top of the mountain, 0, 3. That is my relative maximum. But technically, it goes up and up forever. No max positive infinity. The relative minimum. It looks like, so this was the relative max. It looks like that's the minimum. And that looks like -3, -1. And that is the minimum. There is no relative about it. That's what it is. So that's done. Intervals increasing and intervals decreasing. I'm going to start labeling important points. So this is -3, -1. This is 3, 0. I labeled that one. This is to the left, negative infinity, up, positive infinity. This is right, positive infinity, and up, positive infinity. Intervals are only my x. So I start here from negative infinity and go all the way down to -3, negative infinity, -3. Then I go up from -3 to 0. Then I go down from 0 to 3. And then I go up from 3 to positive infinity. Okay? And I've answered everything. All right, this one, all they want is the domain and range and interval and set notation. So let's pretend it goes forever. Domain is everything to the right, everything to the left. All real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. That's my domain. I always did that in X in pink. And then my range, I always did in blue. My range is everything up, everything down. The problem is it's going up, but not going down. It starts here and goes up. What is that value? -4. So y is greater than or equal to -4. How do I know I care about the -4? The -4 is my y, and it's literally in the y spot. And it's going up, -4, positive infinity. Let me point out, what if this same graph was at 4, but it went down? It would be y is less than or equal to 4. And it would be negative infinity to +4 bracket, because negative infinity is the smallest and 4 is the biggest. All right, study.